Hi, this is Rob O'Byrne, founder of Supply Chain Leaders Academy and Supply Chain Leaders Boardroom. And I'm here talking today with Simon Bowen, who is partnering on our Supply Chain Leaders Boardroom program, because whilst I'm bringing a lot of supply chain expertise to the program, we really need to also dovetail into that some very senior executive background and experience across a number of industries. And Simon's background over the last couple of decades is actually coaching CEOs and senior executives in major corporations. So we're finding it's a really good fit. Something, Simon, we were just talking about over lunch, and you were asking me what some of the major challenges are with very senior executives in supply chain. Most of the people that I find I'm working with in our consulting business are trying to grapple with multiple projects. At the extreme end, I've seen 20 major projects going on within their supply chain. It's not uncommon to have 4 or 5. And the challenge for them is very often about how to prioritise, how to resource. Have you've seen that a lot in your experience?
Enormously.
With senior execs?
Yeah, enormously.
Yeah.
There's some fairly compelling statistics that tell us that an organisation can really only handle one major sort of whole of organisational, whole of group initiative per 100 employees.
Okay.
So if you have 500 employees, 5 major projects, and you're on the limit.
Yeah.
And it'd be better to have 3.
There's probably no logic to it, but it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And so one of the real challenges is to actually get executive leaders comfortable with the idea of saying, imagine in the organisations that you work with, if you're able to get to the point with the supply chain leaders where you said, let's just go through the list of projects and find the top 10, and then we want to rank them from 1 to 10.
Yep.
And we're not leaving the room until we've done that.
Yep.
And then any time something else comes in and someone says this is really important, the question simply is it in the top 10? Yes.
Yep.
Which one is it higher than?
Yep.
And the rest will shuffle down, and number 10 will drop off.
That's interesting, and I'm just thinking back to this client who had 20 major projects underway, and it was just not manageable.
No.
This was a big organisation, so using your rule of thumb, they probably could have taken 100 projects on. But it was a real challenge, particularly at the boardroom level, to get them to actually shoot some of those projects.
Yeah.
And some of them were just distracting. Some of them were actually kind of counter to other really important projects. They're having a negative impact. And I found the only way to do that was almost to do a sort of cost-benefit and impacts analysis of each one. And so, look, here are the top 10. And you've got to shoot this one because it's actually dragging this one down. Well, and this one's actually got totally the wrong focus.
Yes, and I really like that the tool that you use, it's a part of being in the supply chain leaders boardroom. What's the impact of this project? How difficult is this going to be to do? And I know that there's a tool that's really powerful around that, but it's practical tools like that force that line of thinking.
It is, and you've got to be able to step back and be objective about it.
Yes.
And a lot of projects become very sort of pet projects for individuals, and they just don't want to let go of them. And sometimes that's the CEO.
Yes.
But you need that objectivity really, and those sort of assessment tools to say, look, this one is going to deliver X for the business. It's dependent on this one, so this is a key enabler. That one isn't going to have so much of an impact. It's going to be a distraction. It's a lot of cost. Maybe we'll come back to it next year.
Yes.
So it's a question of prioritisation.
Well, there's a company that I met in your supply chain school, the old iteration, and they had a rule of 3. So no one person is allowed to be working on any more than 3 projects at any one time. That's a really interesting discipline. So, because a lot of projects get up in an organisation, perhaps the CEO's been touring another organisation, they've seen something, they come back in, and they might be a highly popular CEO, and someone says, what was that like? Oh, it was great. I saw this. And everyone thinks, well, we'll do that, and before you know it, there's a project running. But imagine the discipline if no one was allowed to have more than 3 projects, and the person that's going to be given this already has 3. Which one are you going to take off? Right. And I know that that's something that you do a lot of work with in terms of the prioritisation and trying to get clarity around.
Yeah, we run sessions like that at Supply Chain Leaders Academy, but I think it's also a very important component of the Supply Chain Leaders Boardroom. I mean, guys are, people are generally aware of this, at a senior level, but sometimes it just needs a simple tool to be able to lay over the top of that and you know, quickly assess which ones we really ought to park.
Well, the supply world, the supply chain world, and certainly in the involvement I've had, you know, with you and sitting in and seeing the conversations and things, is full of really bright people.
Oh, absolutely.
With very complex sort of logistical systems to implement, and often, you know, globally, nationally, multiple locations, multiple modes of transport and movement,
supply chains
big
have got
numbers,
lots of moving parts.
big numbers, and it's really easy to lose the robustness of really crisp prioritisation when you're in a very complex environment and everything feels important.
And sometimes what happens is people either forget or lack the time and space to just step back and look at the more strategic picture.
Yeah, well, sometimes
and very often it's a third party that needs to do that, which is great because it keeps consultants employed. But you know, you kind of step back and say, well, this is all really going, but you know, the view from here is that project is actually screwing up the delivery of X.
Well, one of the most useful tools I have is ignorance.
To ask stupid questions.
Well, if I don't get it, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So if I'm meeting with somebody, they're doing this, and this, and I go, I don't understand that.
Yeah. No,
they go, well, it's because of this. I still don't get it.
That's one of my alarm bells working with clients. You know, if I don't get it on the first take, it's kind of this sounds a bit too complicated.
Correct. So
if I don't understand it, the guy picking the product in the warehouse won't understand
Correct.
it.
So call me stupid, but I don't get it, and you still haven't explained it to me yet. So is that telling us something? You know, it's just. You know, I'm not attached to it, and it's so hard to give up projects and organisations, and you know, I think that's one of the great benefits of coming together with people. You can imagine if you could go into an environment, completely safe environment, and say, we're going to implement this, and I don't know, a dozen or so people around the table going, yeah, nice, we don't get it.
Yeah.
So do it again and explain it again.
The challenge, And what do we get?
You walk away from that so clear.
Yeah.
Or you walk away from that conversation going, actually, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But in a completely safe, you haven't taken any risks in front of staff or your own hierarchy above you or anything like that. If you can't explain to other smart people working at the same level, then there's no way the organisation is going to get it. You know, it's a very powerful place.
That is one of the key benefits of coming along to Supply Chain Leaders Boardroom.
Absolutely.
Maybe you need to be there. We'll put details about the program below in case you're interested. Thanks for watching.